Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rati and I am a legal technologist, consultant, entrepreneur, and someone who's passionate about teaching you guys about the legal professional and what it is to navigate a career in law, non-traditionally specifically, because we don't do things traditionally here. So today we're going to be talking about breaking barriers in the legal profession. We're going to be challenging the traditional paths in law and what we've been told we're supposed to do with this law degree, right? So today we're going to talk about the differences and what exactly is a non-traditional career in law and how you can get into it. Before we get into it, have you subscribed? Because what are you waiting for? Anyways, whilst you subscribe, we're going to get ready and I'll catch you in 2 seconds. So, as always, we have trusty Mr. Notebook, and today we're going to be talking about breaking barriers in law, right? And what exactly is a non-traditional career in law and how you can get into it, because, guys, jobs are hard these days, and we need to find places to get these jobs and whatever that may look like. So today we're going to talk about all the other cool things you can do with your degree that is not necessarily the traditional side. So, back in the day, the roadmap was very straight when you did a law degree, right? You do your law degree and it's either you'll go to train as a barrister if you're British or solicitor. That's the degree I did. I did a degree in the UK. But everyone else, you do your degree, then you go do articles and you do a law firm. Or you go the advocacy route and you go straight to chambers. That's been the usual thing, right? And then you grow from there. Nowadays, guys, okay? Things are a bit different now. There's like different paths you can take with your law degree. You don't necessarily have to do articles straight off the bat. You can kind of do different things. There's in-house legal now. There's GCs. There's a whole lot of other things that you can do that is not necessarily the traditional paths. And that's what I'm going to tell you about today. Right? So I'm going to start off with like my journey so that you guys can have an idea of where I'm coming from, right? I did the traditional thing because I thought I was going to be a boss babe. I was going to be the next African Jessica Pearson, right? I did my degree in the law in the University of Wolverhampton, which is in the UK. So it meant I was going the solicitor route because I don't like court. I'm a badass debater and a moot person and everything that, but it was only when it was fake. When it came to like the real aspect, I was like, yo, the pressure is getting worse. I can't do this forever. Like a daily life thing? Nah. So I decided very quickly that I wanted to be in-house and I was going to go the solicitor route. So I did my degree and I did a legal practice course, which is like what you do if you're going to be a solicitor in the UK. But even after that, I was just like, this is not for me. And I was starting to get the bug then because I knew it wasn't for me. I went and did an internship that turned into a job at a DFI, which is what do they call it? I forgot now. I'm so used to using the acronym. But anyways, I moved in-house. Essentially, I was in-house counsel. So I was shadowing the in-house counsel and I worked at that bank for about 2 years 18 months after the 6 months internship, right? And then I went to get my admission, which is the call to the bar in Zimbabwe, because the guys at the bank were like, you need to be admitted in at least one African country before you can continue what. And I was like, fine, if you insist. So as you can see, you don't have to immediately do your articles admission, right? I went to Zim, and if you're a person who's on the channel that left almost immediately. I was there for 5 years instead of the 2 I insisted. But whilst I was there, I worked at various types of law firms, just trying to understand if really I want to be in practice and if this is the road to go down. I ended up at DLA Piper. That was my last law firm before I decided, I can't do this. I need to find another thing to do with this law degree if I still want to use it, or I'm going to completely leave it and move to something else. And that is how I discovered legal technology law. I was burnt out and I was trying to find out a way to still use my legal degree, but not necessarily be in practice. Research happens, and then you start asking a few people here and there, and of course going down a rabbit hole on LinkedIn and discovering a few people. That's how I ended up in legal technology and discovering a fun world. And you might find it fun too, but there's also multiple other careers you can look into. I'm going to tell you some now. Right, a few that you can, well, and these are all stuff that I've done, but when we do another video on it, I'll tell you more about like the generic other non-traditional careers you can do with a law degree. First is a legal technologist, which is what I do. That is combining legal technology, well, technology and law, and helping other lawyers use technology to the best of their advantage, and basically making it easier to work your day-to-day, right? Then there's things like a compliance officer, an in-house legal. That's stuff where you're still using your degree, but you're not necessarily doing legal stuff every day. You're just making sure people are complying with the rules, that everybody's up to standard, right? There's that. And then there's just basic legal consulting and legal project management. Now, legal project management is exactly what the name says. It's project management, but with the legal twist to it. So you basically work more with like litigation departments, so making sure that they manage their cases properly and kind of be efficient, and making sure they're not going overboard with time spent, and making sure they're keeping up with their billable hours and everyone's on the same page. So you're still doing like your basic project management, but it's with a legal twist, right? And because legal is so specific and has little nuances, you need someone with a legal background who understands legal so that they can project manage lawyers, right? So there is that. Now there's also things like a legal analyst, and those are the people who work a lot in legal technology companies or like businesses that are very tech related. You're basically doing an analyst job, but with the legal niche with it. So essentially day to day, you do a lot of analyses with the cases and how the departments are working. You're working on the business side of the law firm or the legal department essentially, and making sure that they're up to standard and keeping up with their KPIs, all that good stuff. And then there's also now very out of the ballpark things like becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a business owner, those kind of things. All of those benefit really well from having someone with a law degree running them, but we can get a bit more deep into it when we do a video that is focusing on like the top 10 non-traditional careers in law. But as you can see, there's a lot you can do, and the sky's the limit. It just depends on what you want to do with it, right? The reason why I would say you'll choose them, and I'll give you 4, right? The first one is flexibility. Now, if you're anyone who works in the legal field, you know that legal can be very time consuming and like every day, right? So if you're working in the non-traditional career, sometimes you have a bit more flexibility with your day-to-day life, and a lot of them can also be remote, which we'll go into the next part. And so you can do a whole lot more things, and you probably will travel a bit more. You'll also meet a lot more people with it. So there's a lot more things that you'll do on a day-to-day basis that you wouldn't do if you were in a traditional law firm or like a litigation space. So there's that. And then 2, of course, which is the remote work, which goes into like work-life balance. You'll have a bit more control over your day. So you probably won't have to work the hectic hours consistently. Sometimes it'll be like project by project basis, and you've got a bit more control. Or you generally have a bit more control over your 9 to 5. So they will stick to the 9 to 5 compared to law firms that can take over your life and you have like 32-hour days. It can happen. So there is that. The other thing is opportunities for growth. Now, in a law firm setup or like a chamber setup, there's very strict or very direct path you follow to like promotion. So you can only go from associate to senior associate to junior partner, that kind of thing. But when you're doing the non-traditional, because it's more similar to corporate, you've got more opportunities to kind of like pivot to this, to maybe like you can go from being a customer success manager to being head of people or growth. You can be a legal technologist and then you go to head of innovation. Like it's a bit more nuanced compared to the standard law firm organizational structure. So there's more opportunities for growth and you can do way more. And so now we're going to be talking about what's going to be coming up in the next few months on this channel. We're going to talk about how to transition into these non-traditional traditional careers, right? Whether you're a law student, a paralegal, a legal secretary, or someone's already in a legal career, traditional one, we're going to talk about how you can do the switch and move into these other ones, right? We're going to talk about entrepreneurship for lawyers, right? Because lawyers can be a startup founder, they can be a legal startup lawyer. There's so many other things you can do as an entrepreneur, as a lawyer. So, because I like to believe lawyers are naturally entrepreneurs, as from the African context, we always have to do business development as an inside skill because we're not allowed to advertise. So I think we're all inbuilt entrepreneurs, but it's not for everyone. I get it. Number 3, we're going to be talking about balancing a legal career profession with like fitness, mental health, and all that kind of stuff, because we need to take care of ourselves, guys, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So we're going to talk a lot about that, because as a person who recovered from burnout and ended up pivoting because of burnout, I am very passionate about helping other people avoid burnout, because that thing is violent and can take up to 7 years to recover from that. Anybody got time for that? So we're going to talk about taking care of ourselves and what best ways. And you are also going to talk to me as I talk to you about how you guys manage these things, because it's not a one size fits all, right? And then number 4, we're going to talk about remote work strategies. Like if you want to pivot into remote work, working remotely, what that looks like, what are the opportunities, what do you need to have in your life, like the internet and all that stuff, and the computers, all that good stuff. So that's what's coming over the next few months. So please, guys, don't miss out. Click the notification bell to be notified every time I update a new and entertaining video. Or you can just come here to laugh at my English bundles leaving me sometimes. But yeah, so guys, I want to hear from you. This is going to be a two-way street. We're going to be helping each other. I'm your new internet legal big sister, so
Apologies for the
I can
abrupt
only help you if you
ending.
tell me
The
what it is
video
that you
cut
need
off and
help
did a
with.
thing.
So
I
let
don't
me
know.
know, comment
As we
down
come back to
below
YouTube, you know what
what
it is.
you think
Like,
I should
comment, and
talk about
subscribe, and
in
I'll see you in the
regards to
next
this
one.
conversation we are currently discussing and we're going to be discussing for the rest of the year. Let me know, and we'll always keep feedbacking. What is it? We'll discuss with each other and you'll let me know, because you, like I said, the English bundles keep defeating me for some odd reason. But yeah, I'd like you guys to tell me what it is that you want us to discuss, and we keep it a two-way street here and we learn from each other.